Hey folks, this is Lindsay Huddleston with Sports Psychology Solutions back in the building over at University Prep. That's right, the SPS game of the week, U-Prep versus River Rouge. Right now we're wrapping up the junior varsity game right here. Got about 5 minutes left, but to no further ado, we want to introduce our school leader here, Mr. Derrick Kellam. How you doing today?
Hey, how are you?
Great, great, great. Thanks for sitting down and taking a break. We know at these high school games they got you running everywhere, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime the students are in the gym, you know, I'm just a very kid-centered person, so I'm always very attentive to their needs.
Sure.
So when we have a crowd, I'm just making sure my kids are enjoying themselves and, you know, just having an enriching experience because when you're dealing with teenagers, it's always about teaching them how to make the right decision, how to have a good time in a way that's not off-putting and more so that you're just having good, clean fun. So everything is a learning experience.
Well, that's important because when you talk about high school sports, yeah, we got the basketball, the players, but right, this is a social experience too. And how important is it for you to fuse great social experience, great academic experience, and all those things together here at U-Prep?
It's critical because, like I say, it's a saying that culture, like people focus on the academics and the rigor and standard-based instruction and things of that nature, and that's what I'm all about. But the culture eat all of that up, right? If you don't have the proper culture in place, there will be no learning at high levels. There will be no high SAT score. There will be no students going off to the college of their choice. So the day in and day out teaching students how to be successful, how to think like leaders, and how to behave in a way where you're an asset to your community and not a liability. That's an ongoing battle, and that's something that we're constantly focused on here at UPA.
Yeah, great. So when you talk about culture, how do you establish culture in 2020? Do you send an email out and the kids just follow suit, or do you have to get out there and get down with them sometime?
Well, it's relationships. You know, I'm very active. I'm very present. We have 580 students here, and you know, I know just about every one of them personally because I'm out in the hallways. I walk with them. I'm in their proximity.
Sure.
Like I believe that it's important for them to understand that I'm flesh and blood just like they are. I'm not above them. And I really view leadership as a servitude. And so when I'm with my students, I'm trying to be consistent. I'm trying to be a model.
Sure.
And I'm trying to show them that during the good or the bad, they can learn from me in the way I react to things. So you can't do that without being close to them and really building relationships with them and walking that walk day in and day out with consistency.
Sure, and that's great, and we thank you for doing that. So let me ask you a little bit more, because we talked about mental toughness offline and my role as a sports psychology consultant in the mental toughness. For any professional in your role who's a school leader, aspiring to be a school leader, how do you not allow yourself to be overwhelmed or become emotionally worn out and things of that nature?
That's an excellent question. I talk to my staff all the time about work-life balance. It started off with really having your priorities in order. You know, I'm a spiritual person.
Yes.
You know, my spirituality is first, my family is second, and then I started to be more concerned with my secular work.
Sure.
And so because I have that balance day in and day out, I know when when I need a break. I know, like, when I'm on vacation, I'm on vacation.
You're on vacation.
I don't believe in, burning the candle at both ends because at some point you can't be your best self if you're not rested, if you're not eating properly.
Right.
So it just keeping the proper perspective on what's really important and knowing that if you're not strong yourself emotionally, spiritually, physically, you can't be a great leader for the kids that you serve.
I mean, you said so many powerful things right there, and one other thing I kind of want to touch on is that so many people feel that in order to kind of be on it about their business or be aspirational, they almost do purposely burn the candle at both ends. How do you get to a point when you recognize that I've done enough, it's going to be here tomorrow, I can put it down? How do you kind of find that balance with that?
And I'm a work in progress.
So you're working on it.
It's not like I have it all figured out. I try to be organized. I try to really set a calendar and be intentional about the way I plan my day and stick to it. One thing about being a school leader is real life. And at any given moment, something can happen that throw you off your schedule.
Sure.
So it's really about, like, trying to figure out, well, okay, if I get thrown off my schedule, how do I make sure I get the essentials accomplished.
Right.
So when I go home at the end of the day, I know that we are set up to succeed the next day. You're never going to get it all done. There's always going to be work to be done tomorrow. But it is a certain amount of making sure that the more important things are taken care of at all times, and that way it allows me to get a decent night's sleep because I know that things aren't in shambles back at the job.
Right. Real great information. We're sitting here with Derrick Kellam, school leader at University Prep. Great institution, great school. We're getting ready for the SPS game of the week. That's going to be UPrep versus River Rouge. So when you're out and about and you meet people who don't know where you are, know where you work at, and you say UPrep, what's one of the first things you find you have to tell people, and what's probably some of the surprising things that come along with that too?
Really, I try to stress, because there's a few different UPrep schools. So I try to stress that this is the original high school right there in Midtown, a block over from Wayne State University. I think we have a pretty good reputation around the city. Like, people view UPrep as a positive place to send their kids. So I really just I try to reinforce our mission, and that is to prepare students for success in life. And it's a simple mission, but I always try to tell people, but in order to really meet that mission, we have to get to know the kids and know, well, what is success for that student? Because success is not the same thing for every single person. So I love our mission in the sense that it really pushes us to find out, well, who are these kids? And what can I do to help each one feel his or her full potential and live a quality life? And so that's where, I really like people to understand that we are a very hands-on institution. We get to know the kids, really build authentic relationships, and our goal is to position them for success when they leave here, and we equate that to them having opportunities. They having choices. They're not being dictated to. That they can actually say, I want them all to be prepared for college. But I want college to be an option that they have a choice to decide, because they may decide, hey, I want to go into business, I want to go to the police academy. But the key is for them to have the skill set and the work ethic and the character to make whatever choice it is that they decide to do. And that's success to us.
That's really good, because you give those kids those kind of options. Now, do we consider ourselves in Midtown right now?
Yes, this is Midtown.
So if I was an East Sider, I'm actually a West Sider, but if I was on either side of town and I wanted to come here, what's that protocol like to be able to come here? Is it a geographical issue, or do you draw and get kids from different areas?
We're public school, all right? So there's a lottery system. Families can apply online. So I get kids from East Side, West Side, Highland Park area. I can get kids from just about anywhere. But it's a matter of going through the registration process, and we don't pick and choose. There is no essay or some type of test that you take to get in. We're a true public school. If you're on the list and it's a random selection, we take them. So if you want to come to University Prep, it's really about getting on the registration online early in February, and then, let your chips fall where they may. Now, we do pull from our middle school. So if you go to...
That's an added advantage at the middle school.
So if you at University Prep Middle School, you automatically guaranteed a seat at the high school.
Oh, that's great.
So about 70% of our kids, maybe 65-70% will come right from our middle school.
What grade do you start at middle school?
Oh, well, middle school 6th through 8th. We also we have 2 elementary schools. Ellen Thompson across the street and Mark Murray Elementary School. And then we have 1 middle school, University Prep Middle School, and they all feed into the high school. And it's unique because, in this era of school of choice, we really kind of old school, where kids actually went to school with each other, elementary, middle, they know each other by last name and know each other's family for the most part. So that's a big part of our culture, too.
That should help with the culture.
That our kids actually have a family atmosphere. But again, every year we bring in another 30% or so, and each grade level, depending on our numbers, we take more kids. But, we typically have a waiting list to get into the
school. Do you guys always win the award for the most beautiful campus in the area?
I mean, we're known for our campus. It's designed like a college, a college campus. We have 5 buildings. So that's our 9th grade building, 10th grade, 11th, and 12th. So our grade levels take their core classes in their grade level building. And then right now we're in the red building, with your fine arts, your physical education, and the like. Those elective classes are in this building. So our students actually pass outside and inside. So, and that's in the dead of winter. You know, I call it a rites of passage. Sometimes it's frigid outside, and my kids got their coat on, and I tell them, well, this is what college feels like.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think that should be understated. I mean, when they get here and get familiar, it probably takes away a little bit of that shock when they go look at a university, because it's similar. And so many other individuals who are fortunate to have quality education experience that all the time, but think nothing of it.
Yes, and mind you, we don't have bells, we don't have security guard. It's really a culture of high expectation. You know, I'm constantly preaching the message to my kids. I expect you to make good decisions. I expect you to get to class on time. Leaders don't need people hovering over them, micromanaging them to do the basic things. And so that's all part of, like, you know, again, there's no gates around. Kids don't leave off the campus because they know it's not the right thing to do. So really, those are the things that make this place a special place, for real.
Here's one on that note that I can give you that you can use with the students too, with a sports team. I always pose this question: what time does a person think Coach Krzyzewski at Duke makes his players go to bed? And the kids all guess 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock. And he says, no, there's no curfew, because those kids know what they're supposed to do.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the same type of expectation you're talking about. We got a Coach K right here talking about they know what they need to do. Well, before we wrap up, is there anything you want to share to the UPrep family, to the Panther family, to anyone who's listened to the video?
Well, I mean, mainly I just would like to express to my school community how privileged I am to be able to serve this community. From the time I got here, you know, this is my 3rd year as school director here, and I was received with open arms, and I really committed to the school and to the students that I was going to give them my best effort. And every day I'm constantly researching and studying what's the best way to develop young people. I respect my parents, and I know that, you know, as a partnership, we can't be great without that, respecting our parents and looking at them as true partners, and not dictating to them or just telling them, hey, here's what the school's doing. We're really trying to get their input. And so I just feel privileged about that, and I feel like this school has so much potential. We are already the best culture in the city. I believe that it's a matter of time before we also just the best overall school, no matter what the measure is. And that's what we strive for. We want to be the absolute best, because we want kids to have an option right here in the city to get a high-quality education, and that's what drives us.
Wow, what a great opportunity. Lindsay Huddleston here with Derrick Kellam, school leader for University Prep, getting ready for the SPS game of the week. I already know who you're rooting for, right?
Go Panthers.
Go Panthers, that's it. So with that, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for checking in. Take care.